Hey guys, most people think driving is a solo mission. Just look out for yourself and everything will be fine, right? I think this is the wrong mindset. Driving is actually teamwork. Some people just think about only their safety and how fast they will get to the place they want to. But if we apply the teamwork principle into our everyday driving, we are going to have less traffic jams, less aggressive driving. There's going to be much less road rage, and of course, less accidents. So today I wanted to talk about 5 little things you can do, which I consider to be under the teamwork principle, that is going to make our roads safer and less frustrating for everyone. But before we do this, let's actually talk, why is this the problem? When people are just looking out for themselves and not think about other people's safety. Some people think that they're the main character and everyone else is a side character. And our lives are stressful even without driving. So why do we want to introduce even more stress when we're doing our everyday errands? I think the most important thing to understand is that we are all sharing the same road. And that's why we are responsible for each other's safety. Empathy for other people is the key to be safe on the road for yourself and for others. Because we are in control of actual weapons. In fact, one of the most common ways for people to get injured is car accidents. They happen all the time. So the best place for us to be empathetic and caring for other people is actually on the road. If you've clicked on this video, you probably want to be a better driver. And we can do it by not overlooking one of the most important skills when you drive, which is being caring and empathetic to other people and leading by an example in promoting safe driving. But the good news is that it doesn't take too much. In fact, even small changes in your driving behavior can lead to a huge difference. So I live in a highly dense city, which is full of pedestrians and cyclists. When we are driving, we are usually focusing mostly on other cars and other drivers, and it's easy to forget about that there are many cyclists and pedestrians on the road, especially if you're living in a city like Vancouver or LA. By intention, I chose a very popular park in my area, which is usually full of different cyclists and pedestrians, so it will be easier for me to demonstrate what I'm talking about. The reason why we should be extra careful with pedestrians and cyclists is that they are more vulnerable than us. We are relatively secure in our car even if there is some impact. I like walking myself a lot, and as a pedestrian I noticed that so many cars just don't let me cross the street, and they just keep driving and not stopping. And the other thing you should be looking out for is to give enough space for people to cross the street. So for example, in this case, I'm not trying to get as close as possible to this white line over here to give these people a lot more room that they need actually. And just make sure to actually stop somewhere here. Sometimes I see people not stopping and actually creeping slowly towards you as you're crossing the street. It's very irritating. The teamwork principle works here as well, because you can imagine yourself being a pedestrian too. So be respectful when people cross the street, and they'll respect you when you will exchange your roles. I'm trying to hope to see a cyclist nearby to show you an example of how to safely give room for other cyclists. So unfortunately, there were no cyclists when I was driving, so I decided to show you guys how it's going to look like on the whiteboard. So let's say that's you, and that's a cyclist, and the cyclist is slowly going at the edge of your lane on the right. So what you want to do here is to turn the left signal on to indicate to other drivers that you are passing the cyclist, and as soon as you do that, you are slowly passing them from the left like this. And as I said, cyclists are much more vulnerable on the road compared to us in the car, so just make sure to give them enough room. And obviously you should pass them as slow as possible. Don't go very fast near a cyclist, it's very dangerous. The other advice I can give you, if you know that you are in an area where there's lots of pedestrian crossings, just go slower in the first place. If you go slower, It will be much easier for you to react if someone decides to suddenly cross the street. I also wanted to talk about the case when you want to turn left on the intersection, but you have to be looking both at the upcoming traffic going towards you and at the pedestrians crossing the street. And the thing is that most people are just focusing on the cars in front of them and just wait for an opportunity and a gap to swing left. So before making your move and going left, when you are sure that there is no upcoming traffic, you have to be looking left as well for pedestrians to ensure that you're not going to be stuck in the middle of intersection because you decided to go left and then you have to yield for a pedestrian. So let's talk about the next teamwork thing you can do to improve your driving, which is always using your turn signals. And when I say always, I mean all the time. In every team, communication is key. And the car designers made this stock here on the left of your steering wheel, if you haven't found it yet, to make it easier for us to communicate with other drivers. I just feel like using your turn signal is such an easy thing to let other people know what you're doing, is that there's no excuse for it. It literally takes less than half a second to turn a signal right or left. Even in this case, when there is only one way for us to turn to the right, there's no excuse for this car to not show their intention, which is to turn right. But if you have a habit of showing your turn signals in every case, you'll have less chance of not showing it when it matters. We're going towards the highway ramp, and let me show you how to properly merge using your turn signals. So the key is not using any abrupt motions and showing your turn signal as soon as possible. And then slowly merging, and you turn it off as soon as your last wheel has crossed the dotted line line. And actually the same goes to changing your lanes. You're showing your turn signal way in advance. You start turning very smoothly and slowly. So your turn signal is still on, and then as soon as your last wheel has crossed the white dotted line, you turn it off again. So the way I like to explain to people how smoothly you should be changing your lane on the highway is that if you have a passenger sitting with their eyes closed, they should not be able to tell that you have changed your lanes. And there is a reason for it. The main one is that when you do it in that fashion, like now, you are giving more reaction time for people to see that you are changing your lane. So if, for example, you haven't noticed a car in your blind spot and you started changing your lane very smoothly and slowly, they'll be able to react and honk at you, for example, to let you know that they're in your blind spot. And you'll be able to go back into your lane without causing an accident. So let me demonstrate it once again. I go into the rightmost lane. There you go. Easy peasy. Great teamwork. This is a good example of how not to do it. And now we actually can talk about the next topic, which is left lane hogging. Right now we're in the cruising lane because these two are exit lanes right now. And in this case, you have to be cruising in this lane unless you're passing someone. But this actually falls perfectly into the teamwork principle. If people would know how many traffic jams could be avoided by not hogging the left lane. Let's try to visually understand why left lane hogging creates more traffic. So let's say there are already two cars in these two lanes and you are hogging the passing left lane. And if there are two cars that actually are going faster than you, you're gonna stop them right here. And that's gonna cause a domino effect of lots of people just stuck behind you. And you'll just end up creating a huge traffic jam miles ahead. And if you would just move to the right over here, people will be freely passing you and going their way. And everyone will be happy. There will be no traffic jams. If you are hogging the left lane, you're probably letting people pass you from the right. And passing someone on the right on the highway leads to more accidents. And let's say this car is going slower than everyone. You're going a little bit faster than this car, but this car is going faster than you. Since you are hogging the left lane, they'll end up just passing you on the right. And this creates a very dangerous situation. Highway rules are very, very trivial. We just want to pass everyone from the left so that everyone knows that they can only be passed on the left and not from the right. I just don't understand why are we just simply taking risks of people crossing us from left and right. It would be so much easier and safer for everyone if we will just follow the highway rules. And if you want to learn more about how to drive confidently on the highway, I recommend watching my video where I also explain how highways work in North America. You can tap the link now and I will leave it in the description below. I'm gonna show you the statistics of how many people die on the road in the US compared to other European countries, which actually have higher speed limits on the highways. And you can see right now that Canada is actually doing pretty well. And I'm pretty sure that one of the main reasons we see the statistics is due to left lane hogging on the highway. Some people would say, oh, but I'm going the speed limit. So if anyone would even want to go faster than me, they'll be breaking the law. So I'm doing the right thing. No, you're not. And there are actually laws in many states and in British Columbia, for example, in which you will be fined if you're left lane hogging. We are not allowed to block people from breaking the speed limit. It's their right and they can do it if they wish. It all comes to this teamwork principle. If we are being empathetic, we could think that, oh, maybe this person is in a rush. Maybe they need to go to the hospital because someone in their family is not feeling well, or someone's wife is giving a birth and they have to be there. There's so many reasons for people to go faster than the speed limit shows. All right, let's talk about the next thing. We have to be looking in all four directions and make sure that you have enough space from the car in front of you, the car behind you, the car on the left, and the car on the right. Let me illustrate it to you visually how you can leave enough space for yourself in all four directions. So let's say this is the safe distance from the car in front of you. If there's a car behind you, yeah, we just want to make sure we have this much space in here. And now let's talk about the situation where you have car on your left or on your right. All of you are not giving each other space for a maneuver. So let's say there is a sudden accident in front of you and you don't have enough time to actually stop in time. And since you were in one horizontal plane with these two cars, now you don't have a time and place for a maneuver to go right or left to avoid an accident. So if you find yourself in a situation where, for example, right now, you are leveling with the other car on the highway, so I'm gonna slow down right now to let him pass, and now I have more space on the left side for me. And as I showed you in the real world, you can speed up or slow down if you want to, just to give yourself more space. So if there is an accident in front of you, now you have a space for a maneuver to the right or to the left to avoid it. If each of us would give more space to ourselves, it will mean that all of the other cars will have more space too. So let's say somebody's tailgating you. Usually the place you get tailgated the most is when you are in a passing lane and you are left lane hogging. So let's say there's a car behind me that is tailgating me. Even though it's not at the moment, but let's imagine. I have enough space on the right for me, I'll just merge to the right and let this person behind me tailgating me pass me. The last thing I wanted to talk about is letting other people merge and giving people way. And it applies both to highway and city driving. So right now at the moment, I'm merging onto the highway. I'm showing my turn signal in advance. And I can see that the person on the left here slowed down for me and let me merge. And this is a great example of how driving could be teamwork as opposed to driving just for yourself. Why you should let people merge safely and why is it important? So let's say you're going 65 miles an hour and you see that this car is probably going slower than you. In this case, the best decision is to slow down and make sure this car is merging safely. Obviously, if you don't do it, this is pretty much a guaranteed accident. Let's say this driver is smart and he sees that you're not slowing down for them. So what they will do, they will end up merging to the highway very slowly. And this introduces a very dangerous situation if there's another car coming and they don't expect this car to go very slowly while merging. And there's actually a second way you can give room and let this person merge safely. But to do this, you'll have to be aware of your surroundings in all 360 degrees. What I mean by that, you have to be aware that there is no one in this lane and you can just safely merge to the left. And why I like this method more is that you don't have to slow down and they don't have to slow down. So the big idea of this video is that driving is not about winning. It's about working together. If every driver saw themselves as a team player, it will be safer and less stressful for everyone. I mean, how cool would it be if every single drive you have is going to feel like a coordinated symphony instead of feeling like it's a battlefield? Listen, everyone is in a hurry, not just you. But teamwork actually doesn't slow you down. It speeds everyone up. Every time I see a driver that is doing some of the things that I explained to you today, I feel so much respect for this person, and I immediately can tell that they're a good driver. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I was thinking to get a part 2 of this video, so if you're interested, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, stay safe out there, and thanks for watching.